Tonight, in this week's Come Follow Me, we rest in the days of the prophet Elijah. We remember a man who had seen God work in fire and then found himself weary and afraid and alone. This is not only a story of mountaintops, but of what comes after them, of how God meets us not with thunder, but with a whisper. And tonight you are invited to rest within that same gentle care. Let your body begin to soften into the place where you lie. Let your shoulders fall. Let your jaw release and your hands grow still. Take one slow breath in and let it go. There is nothing you need to solve tonight. You don't have to carry tomorrow, tonight. You can simply rest and let the day fall away from you. Imagine Elijah at the end of a very long day. He had stood on Mount Carmel and watched the fire of God fall from heaven. He had seen the people turn their hearts back to the Lord. It was a great victory. And yet, soon after, the fear came. A threat against his life sent him running into the wilderness, far from everyone he knew. And there, beneath a lone juniper tree, he sat down and asked that he might simply rest from it all. He was tired in a way that sleep alone could not reach. Perhaps you know that kind of tired too. The weariness that comes not only from the hard days, but sometimes from the days right after we have given everything. When the striving is over and the quiet rushes in, and we feel how tired we truly are. Elijah did not need to prove anything more. He only needed to be cared for. And so do you tonight. And notice what God did not do. He did not scold Elijah for being afraid. He did not remind him of the miracle he had just seen. Instead, an angel came and gently touched him and said, "Arise and eat." There was bread and there was water waiting beside him. And when Elijah had eaten, he lay down again and slept. And the angel came a second time and let him eat once more and rest once more. Before God asked anything of Elijah, he fed him and let him sleep. How tender that is. that sometimes the most sacred thing God offers us is permission to rest. The scripture says that food carried Elijah for 40 days through a long and lonely wilderness. One small act of tenderness, a meal and a sleep, became the strength he needed for the road ahead. And so it can be for you. The rest you receive tonight is not wasted time. It is God preparing you quietly for tomorrow. God has already been in the places you're worried about, and He is not waiting for you to be strong again before He cares for you. He meets you exactly where you are, even here, even now. In time, gently strengthened, Elijah journeyed on until he came to a mountain and found shelter in a cave. And there the Lord told him to stand on the mountain, for the Lord was about to pass by. First came a great and strong wind, tearing at the mountains, breaking the rocks in pieces. But the Lord was not in the wind. Then came an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. Then came a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, there came a still small voice, a whisper, quiet enough that only a listening heart could hear it. And that was where God was. The voice asked Elijah a gentle question, "What doest thou here?" And Elijah poured out his heart. He said that he felt utterly alone, that he was the only one left who still loved the Lord. It is what discouragement so often whispers to us, that we are the only ones, that no one understands, that we are carrying it all by ourselves. But God answered him gently. He told Elijah that he was not alone at all, that there were 7,000 others, faithful and unseen, whose hearts had never turned away. Elijah had felt alone, but he never truly was. And neither are you. Not in the noise, not in the great and dramatic things, but in the gentle quiet after the storm had passed. There is something deeply reassuring in this, that God did not need the wind to reach Elijah. He did not need power or spectacle to make himself known. He came in the smallest voice, the kind you can only hear when everything else grows quiet. the kind of voice that is perfectly suited to the end of a long day. And perhaps tonight you can let that same truth rest near you, that the God who speaks in whispers is near to you in this quiet room, that you do not have to make noise to be heard by Him, that He is not only in the great victories of your life, but here in the softening hush of the night. The same voice that found Elijah in his lowest moment knows how to find you. It does not come to demand. It comes to comfort and to remind you that you are not alone. So often we listen for God in the loud things. We wait for the wind, the earthquake, the fire, for some unmistakable sign. And all the while, He is speaking softly in the quiet we keep rushing past. A gentle thought, a feeling of peace that has no earthly explanation, a reassurance that settles over the heart when the noise finally fades. Tonight, the noise is fading, and in its place, there is room for His voice. You do not have to strain to hear it. You have only to grow still and trust that He is near. Even now, you are being held. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. Nothing about your life is unseen in His care. As you rest tonight, you are invited to lay down the noise of the day, the voices that were loud, the worries that demanded too much. You do not need to carry them into your sleep. You may simply let the still, small voice be the last thing your heart listens for. Mercy has not left the room. Grace has not run out. The God who gathered Elijah from the wilderness and spoke to him so gently is gathering you now into rest. There is nothing you need to fix before sleep. If you wish, you might let one quiet thought stay with you as you drift. That the God who fed Elijah and let him rest watches over you in the same way tonight. You can release tomorrow back into His hands. Let your breathing slow again. Let your thoughts grow fewer and less insistent. The wind, the earthquake, the fire, all of them have passed. What remains is the quiet. And in the quiet, He is here. He has been here so very gently all along. God continues His work even while you rest. You are held in a love that does not sleep. Let your eyes grow heavy. Let the stillness settle over you like a blanket. And as you drift towards sleep, let your heart grow quiet enough to be held in the still, small voice.